This video explains how to crochet round 25 of the border for the wrapped in Jamie Cull. We have one special stitch in this round, but first we do the chain up, the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into the corner, and then after the corner make sure you find the first stitch, and we have 2 single crochet to start with, that 1 and 2. Then our next stitch is the HDC around. What that means is we yarn over as we would for a HDC, and we go into the stitch that we have skipped in round 24, the previous round. So we go into the stitch as we would usually. We yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all 3 loops on the hook. That way we create a similar look like we would for a normal single crochet, but it encompasses all of those loops, so we need the length. Next we of course skip that stitch around, and you see how bigger loops that we sometimes get from making such long stitches, they completely disappear and don't matter anymore. So after this HDC around we have another 2 single crochet and then a popcorn. For this border I like to make the popcorn with 4 DCs into the front loop of the stitch below. If you prefer 5 or even 6, you're free to do that. Or if you want little popcorns, then you can just make 3 DC in the front loop of the stitch below. So I've made my 4, and I insert the hook into the first again, grab the loop and pull it through, and then we close with a chain 1. So that's all worked into the front loop, just run around below the stitch. Now of course we skip the stitch behind the popcorn, and we have another 2 single crochet. Then you see we've got that double treble 3B 2B from the previous round. So you could, if you wanted, make it on this side. You have to make sure to find the first stitch afterwards, but you could also make it to the right side or to the working side. So you just go under, find those 2 loops and make your HDC around as usual. It really won't matter very much. It's more or less a personal preference. So the HDC around, then 2 single crochet, another HDC around, just finding the loops behind that stitch, 2 single crochet, and then we make a DCBB, a double crochet behind and below the double treble from the previous loop. So if we lift that a little bit, then you see that the chain 1 with which we close the popcorn is the stitch we need to get into. So I'm just coming from behind and go into those 2 loops and grab the yarn and make a normal DC. So of course we skip this one, and again 2 single crochet, another HDC around, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet. And if you look, you notice that we are in the middle of the pattern. We have as much on one side as we have on the other, which means in the middle we have another popcorn stitch, just like we had at the beginning and what we will have in the end. So we just have another popcorn into the front loop of the stitch below. There are ways to make the popcorns without releasing the hook from the loop, or the loop from the hook, and inserting in the beginning. I'm a bit old-fashioned, and I find it harder to go back and find it more fiddly than just releasing the hook, going into the first DC again, and then pulling through. So I don't, I'm not making a fuss of it. So we have the stitch that is behind the popcorn, which we skip again, and again 2 single crochet. So since the popcorn marks the middle of the square of the side, it means we're just going back symmetrically. So again we have the HDC around, two single crochet, HDC around, two single crochet, and then again the DC behind and below into the top of, or into the chain, closing chain of the popcorn stitch, and 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet, HDC around again, 2 single crochet, another popcorn, and as I said, I make the popcorns with 4 double crochet. You could make 3 only, it would be a very small popcorn, or you could make 5. It would be a bigger popcorn, just a personal preference. Closing with a chain 1, which does not count as an extra stitch. This counts as the stitch for the popcorn. We have to skip the one behind, 2 single crochet, HDC around, and 2 single crochet. And we're back in the corner. So that's it for round 25. You see, it's a very easy round, lots of repetition, a nice rhythm, 2 single crochet, HDC around, 2 single crochet, HDC around. Now and then there is a popcorn in between, in the beginning, middle, and in the end, but that's all. So yeah, go ahead and repeat that on the other 3 sides, and then remember to join to the first stitch of the corner, and that will be your round 25.